Ballerina has had one hell of a production history, with the first draft of a script being created all the way back in 2017, which is close to almost a decade ago, and I almost had a mental breakdown while realizing that. Eventually, the film went into principal photography in 2022 under the guiding eye of director Len Wiseman, whose main resume consists of the Underworld movies and Live Free and Die Hard, a movie I actually like a lot. But when it comes to his other work, well, I don't think I really need to say anything. I think it speaks for itself. But at least Chad Stahelski, who co-directed the first John Wick film and then helmed the 3 other films as the sole director, was attached to produce and oversee the production. So at least the shepherd was still guiding the herd. But after filming Wrapped in January of 2023, during the editing process, something happened. And the team believed the film wasn't working, and so they delayed it to a full year, and Stahelski came in and reshot some of the film. Now, it's heavily debated how much of this film was reworked, and maybe we'll never know. It could just be some action scenes and the obvious new inclusion of John Wick, or it could be a giant portion of the story as well. It's not exactly known at the moment. But either way, from the long-awaited time it took to start the production on the film, to hiring a director that didn't seem like the right fit for the franchise, to already having another spin-off in the universe, The Continental, not getting much of a liking when eventually released, and of course, having the movie getting reworked for a year, nobody had faith in this movie. Everything was against it, and yet somehow, this movie kicked so much ass. I honestly think it was an outstanding addition to the John Wick universe, adding more extensive lore to not only the world, but the mysterious backstory of Wick himself, giving us incredible action sequences that each stood out on their own and felt distinctive and unique. And finally, giving us a genuinely engaging character brought to life by a tremendously multifaceted performance from De Armas. Like, honestly, these John Wick movies always find a way to cast people who take seemingly dry or simplistic characters and lines of dialogue and let the actors really create something special, and now Ana de Armas gets to shine here as Eve. And by the time the movie ended, I had a big grin on my face and was very happy at the quality of the movie, and barely had any problems with it overall. The villain was weak, I felt the movie went about 15 minutes over, the sister reveal was bafflingly horrible, and there were a few moments of odd acting which I didn't know if it was because of the reshoots or not. So not exactly a lot of negatives, nothing that weighed the enjoyment of the movie down. Which, speaking of reshoots, I didn't feel it at all. The movie was very cohesive for the most part, and any smaller stuff like the sister twist or the introducing Norman Reedus and his daughter felt like it was just a part of the original plan for the movie. Even with John Wick, if you know about the reshoots, then you know this had to be a part of it, but it just came off like at the very beginning the studio asked for this so they would be able to market the movie better. And hell, it's fucking working. And man, who cares? It's nice to see Wick again, but this movie works completely without him because Eve is genuinely such a badass character. De Armas brings so much charisma to this role. I didn't expect it to be such a fun performance. Like, don't get me wrong, she is incredible in the more serious moments of the film, but something as simple as her saying cool when she finds a flamethrower would come off as so cheesy from someone else. But when she delivers the line, it becomes so charming and hilarious. And can we just appreciate how much she actually did in this film on a stunt level? Cause holy shit, the entire time I was watching this movie, seeing her get tossed around left and right, I could tell it was her. And I was just sitting there thinking how hard this movie must have been to make. Which is a great sign, because I think of that for every John Wick movie when I sit down to watch them. You can tell she committed to this role, and it is truly felt in the final result. And when it comes to her being thrown around like a rag doll, I thought that was a genius decision, especially in the context of this franchise. We always get action movies about the unbeatable badass that has decades of experience, but I've always wondered why they don't make movies about someone who is just starting out. I mean, I've really thought about it too much, to the point that I came up with my own concept for a movie where a mercenary who's like on his 3rd job and is just getting his ass handed to him throughout the whole movie, and everything is just going to shit. So to actually see a similar concept be shown on screen and handled extremely well made me so happy. Because it's a concept I've been begging to see, and this would be my biggest praise for the movie. And damn does De Armas sell those falls. It genuinely looked like that shit hurt. But another thing I loved in regards to that same topic is when Wick shows up to confront her, they get into a fight and he just effortlessly takes her on. Where other movies would use this as an opportunity to make the newer character look good and defeat someone who is clearly more skilled than them. But they didn't do that. They stayed true to their world and had John win that fight. And in relation to the world, the other thing I didn't expect to work so well was the cult that's introduced in this movie. Like stated earlier, the villain sucked, but the concept surrounding him was actually quite interesting. Having all these mercenaries settle down and have a semi-retirement haven, so they can have a family and live some kind of normal life. It makes a lot of sense to why these people would 1. Join this cult, and 2. Protect it the way they did. Which kind of made me sad when Eve and John were just killing them left and right, knowing they all had fucking kids, but hey, at least it was fun to watch. With that all said, Ballerina is a spectacular inclusion to the John Wick franchise that is worthy to stand along with the other films, while creating a new character I would love to see continue on, brought to life by a committed performance. All surrounded by astonishing action, with a few set pieces actually being some of the best in the whole series. If you haven't checked it out yet or were worried it wouldn't be good, get your ass to a theater and I bet you're gonna have one hell of a time. I promise. Alright, thank you for checking out the video, I really appreciate it. But I also did want to mention that I actually have made a short film. It took me almost a year and a half to make, and will it be the greatest cinematic feat you have ever seen? No, but I poured my blood, sweat, and tears into it, and most importantly, all my friends came together to really help create my vision and finalize it. And for that reason alone, I think you should go ahead and give it a watch, because I am eternally grateful for all their help. The whole idea for the short film was, what if I made a Peter Parker story without Spider-Man? So hopefully that can give you a bit of an expectation on what the tone would be like, and if you want to check it out, you can go ahead and click right here on the right. Thank you.